So we're going to start with the original Crash 3 for a bit. There's a reason for that. There is actually a hidden demo in this game. Insomniac and Naughty Dog have been really tight for a long time. And so if you put in up, up, down, down, left, right, square, you get you get a demo of Spyro the Dragon, the first one. And I believe there was also a hidden demo for Crash 3 and Spyro as well.
Interesting.
For many years, this was my only exposure to Spyro.
Wait, I'm pretty sure this is the magazine demo that I had a while back.
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro. Free 10 dragons in the artisan world. Then find the balloonist. He'll transport you to the next world.
What about Nasty Nork? I'm going after him.
Find dragons first. That's all I can tell you.
This demo is pretty much just the entire first world up until the boss. That's fully playable, and we will see what happens when you try to go to Marco the Balloonist in a second here. I don't know why all the music is cut out. I think that's an error with DuckStation, which was the emulator I was using for this.
Gotcha.
Also, as you can tell, I'm terrible at this game. This is not a Spyro Let's Play. I did, however, play the Reignited trilogy from Toys for Bob. That was pretty good.
Thanks, Spyro. I had the worst itch on the tip of my wing. Oh, did you know?
It's nice that some of these older games are coming back, you know, especially from the Naughty Dog vault, you know. All the Crash games, The Last of Us Part 1 again for some reason.
So if you try to go to Marco, he basically says, shut up, buy the full game if you want to use my balloon.
Oh, Marco.
Anyway, back to our feature presentation.
It's funny how history repeats itself. Yet again, Engine has failed to defeat you.
Well, I mean, this time it was Coco, but I get your sentiment.
Oh, my aching head.
Well, there's so much head to ache there, buddy.
So the end is in sight. Gather another 5.
Well, the N on your head is very much in sight as well.
Or will you?
And as we move on to World 5, I thought I would also show off. There's another idle animation, which was in the original. I hadn't shown it off yet.
Oh. They got creative at least.
Yeah, so this is Flaming Passion. We're going to be getting the green gem in this level. I think it's the last of the colored gems. And now to properly introduce the fruit bazooka. You can't move while you're firing it, and it's a bit clunky at first, but it's very useful once you get a handle on the controls.
Like, it's legitimately a bazooka.
Yeah. And basically at the expense of time, or movement or speed, you can hit almost anything in the game with it. There are some enemies that are specifically designed to either be immune to the bazooka or to have like specific restrictions. Like you have to open up a weak point first or something.
And now that all the movement is unlocked in the game, this is very straightforward and fluid.
Once we get to the time trials, the bazooka actually has a very specific use in time trial mode, despite the fact that it's quite slow. You'll just have to trust me on that one until we get to... I don't know what the number will be on that video, but it's the second last one that is primarily focused on the time trials. You can also spin attack the I don't know the name of that particular enemy. I should look it up later. On Bandipedia, the unofficial fan wiki for Crash Bandicoot, which is far more crazy and detailed than anything I know.
It's impressive just how much lore this game has.
And I mean, most of it was written as a joke, but Bandipedia takes it very seriously. I mean, things like the nuclear missile that's stuck in Engine's head, or I can't remember the exact details of it, but Embryo, who was the secondary antagonist in the first 2 Crash games, there's something about like the Frankenstein bolts that are in his head, something about Cortex using or adjusting the tightness of the bolts to control him or calm him down. I'm probably not explaining it correctly, but there will be a title card showing up right here explaining exactly what I mean and how stupid it is.
More lore than you thought there was from a game about a Bandicoot.
Yeah, some of the later games tried to have stories, and I mean, Crash Twinsanity's story is, I mean, it's not exactly deep or anything, but it's pretty good for the comedy game that it's trying to be. Again, not to sound like a broken record, but Wrath of Cortex, for some reason, has a 6-minute intro cutscene. I don't know why, and most of it is like an extended gag about all the bad guys in a boardroom, and Uka Uka is trying to explain that the productivity of evil has gone down in the last few years. It's really dumb,
but on brand.
Yeah. I mean, Crash Bandicoot games are both the good and bad kind of dumb, alternately. Crash Bandicoot 4 is a bit of both. Anyway, I should point out why I'm using the bazooka on the nitros, because this level does not have a nitro switch. The green exclamation mark boxes that you use to detonate all the nitros. It does not exist. You have to manually activate the nitro crates.
It's interesting that the bazooka does that.
And I think this is the only level in the main game, at least. Like, I just played the DLC level, which is called Future Tense. Can't wait to show that off. And it gets really creative with the level design, but I think it also uses the green nitro crate. For context, it's been a few weeks since our last recording, and these pulling gems and crystals from nowhere animations are starting to get their novelty back again.
Oh no, it's not nowhere. We know right where they're coming from.
Are you suggesting that Crash Bandicoot has an anatomically correct rendered butthole?
It is not only Dr. Cortex that we battle.
I'm suggesting that somewhere at Naughty Dog, much like Cats, there's a butthole cut of this game. And they should release it. The cowards.
Anyway, we're back on Road Crash because there's actually a secret entrance to probably one of the worst levels in the franchise. You see that one sign that has an alien head on it. You run into it. They actually added like a special marker of the bird hitting the sign, because in the original there was no indicator that was a special sign of anything.
And of course, it's a jet ski level.
Yeah, this is Hot Cocoa. It is the only jet ski level in the game that's like truly open. Basically, our objective is to find the nitro switch crate so that we can access the regular world, or access the level exit. So I'm not actually going for the time trial relic here. It's just better more manageable if you enter time trial mode while getting the gems, because it's easier to restart if you mess things up. It doesn't cost any lives when you die. It's overall just better.
Gotcha.
And this only applies to the secret levels where you can do a time trial on your first run. Anyway, I absolutely despise this level, and thankfully there's a very nasty little trick to do the time trial for this. And if it wasn't for that, I probably would have given up on this relic.
Oh, yeah. This looks a little raw, yeah.
There's not really much else to say about this level. I hate it. It's
very large and very open, and there's a lot of bombs floating inside of it, and you have to pick up all the crates.
Yeah, it's basically the exact opposite of Crash Bandicoot's strengths as a franchise. There is one other jet ski level that's much better than this. It's basically just a very hard version of the more linear jet ski levels, and it's I think they should have cut Hot Cocoa and just went with that level instead.
I can see where this would be fun the first time playing through the game, but
Well, you're seeing something that I don't.
well, I mean, usually levels like these are fun diversions from the core gameplay mechanics. So I mean, if you've been playing for a long time, this might be a nice break from just, you know, the straight run and jump levels, but
Oh, another thing that makes the going into time trial mode a better idea for the box gem, because you can't access Hot Cocoa through like one of the warp rooms. Every time you have to go into Road Crash and hit that alien sign.
oh,
That's in both the original and in the NST as well. The secret warp room has five entrances. Two of those are secret entrances for other levels, and the others are just secret levels in general. And this and Egapus Rex, which was the dino-based secret level that we saw a couple of videos ago, those you can only access through their secret entrances.
yeah, that's now I'm starting to see where this isn't a whole lot of fun. And it's a perfectly timed fast forward, ladies and gentlemen.
So we're gonna grab the gem, and because we are still in time trial mode, we can go into the pause menu and restart, and of course we'll keep the gem.
Ah.
Now there's a very strange glitch. It's only in the Sane Trilogy for Hot Cocoa, and here it is. For whatever reason, there is a delayed explosion when you run into this specific pack of nitro crates. It doesn't apply anywhere else in the game, but if you time it just right, you can essentially enter the hitbox, but there will be enough of a delay that you can get out of the way. And with that, you can finish the whole level in 6 seconds.
World record!
Yay. And for the rest of the video, we're actually going to be going into the aforementioned secret warp room and finishing all of those secret levels. And since this video is already running a little long, there's not going to be an extra bonus content section for this video. That'll come later. Anyway, here's the secret racing level, which you can access each of these areas. I think I mentioned this before, through getting a certain number of time trial relics, which I've been getting off screen. So this is another racing level, but instead of the go-karts from earlier, we're racing with flying saucers.
What?
I don't know. It's a neat idea. Basically, it's a spin on the darkness levels that we saw in the previous Crash games.
Sure. I just love the audio for the flying saucers.
Yeah, so you can see the potholes in the road. Those barriers are supposed to signify when the potholes are coming up. The problem is that the potholes have a slightly larger hitbox than what their model suggests.
Oh. So you kind of get pulled into them?
Well, yeah, I guess so. Thankfully, it's pretty easy to get a gold relic for this level while also breaking all the boxes.
So in this world, that cop just ran into the backside of that jump.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about that before, actually. That's a very good point. These are like the lemming cops you'd see in a Grand Theft Auto game or something. The ones who will dive off of cliffs trying to catch you. I guess you could have made that turn cleanly if you let go of the gas, but I don't know. If watching time trials for this, it's basically because the wheelie is so much faster than the regular speed. I guess it's more about like trying to compensate for as much time, or to spend as much time in the wheelie mode, even if it means that you overshoot a turn.
So it's really not Gran Turismo. There is no realistic race physics involved in those levels. It's just, very simple, I'm sure.
Oh,
so.
No. Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo is more realistic than this level.
Oh, yeah. Again, playing a giant anthropomorphic Bandicoot.
It's very unrealistic. Everyone knows Bandicoots do not wear fingerless gloves. They only wear mittens.
Right.
This is Ski Crazed, aka what Hot Cocoa should have been.
Aha! Okay, so there is a much better version of Hot Cocoa. Or, a level that makes up for Hot Cocoa.
Yeah, I would say this makes up for Hot Cocoa. For this one, I did the time trial relic off screen, just because in order to get the clear gem, you have to take certain paths that cost too much time. And since you need at least a gold relic, actually, I think, yeah, you need at least a gold relic on all of the main levels, not the secret levels, in order to get the 100% ending.
That seems like a significant amount of work.
Yeah, the time trial route for Ski Crazed, or at least the one that I use, is actually pretty fun, because you're not trying to double around and sneak around to get every box. There's a specific path that the game wants you to follow, and it's pretty cool.
So it's just a straight, shot through it. So, Here's a dumb question, something that just occurred to me looking at this level. We've seen some unfinished Crash Bandicoot levels in this LP. Do you think that Hot Cocoa is unfinished?
I guess it's possible that it could have been like the kind of sandbox areas that developers make when they're testing a game engine.
And they just hit it behind a pole?
Well, I mean, it gives you a percentage point. You're clearly meant to
You're
play
meant to
through
find it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're meant to play through it if you're getting everything in the game. But I guess it could have started out life as a way for that particular engine, because Naughty Dog built separate engines entirely for the swimming levels, for the Pura levels, and for the jet ski and the biplane stuff. Which I don't know enough about the PlayStation architecture to properly say how difficult it is to swap out engines on the fly like that, but I'm assuming it was not easy.
I may have to look into that. Naughty Dog, I would expect to be able to pull that off, because they basically ran these games on hopes and dreams and prayers and deleting shit from the official development kit.
Exactly, yeah. They had a specific... there's also a name for the in-house engine that Naughty Dog used. I don't know if they're still used... Oh, well, I think they're using like an updated version of it, obviously, for like The Last of Us and Uncharted, that kind of thing, but... I don't know. I do know that Naughty Dog, especially in the 90s, were extremely jealous of their in-house engine and rejected many attempts for other developers to use it.
Closely guarded secret sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. Though it does make me curious about the disassembled PC port of Jak and Daxter that was that came out recently. That must have been a nightmare to do.
Now that I do have to look into. Just because I find that stuff fascinating.
And next up is the final secret level of Crash Bandicoot 3. And it is another biplane level, and it is also a reference to one of Naughty Dog's original games. Prior to their contract with Universal, under Electronic Arts, they published an RPG called Rings of Power for the Sega Genesis.
Oh!
I tried playing it to make some B-roll footage for this, and I don't recommend it. I absolutely hated the 5 minutes that I spent with Rings of Power.
It's that bad?
Well, the thing is that unlike a lot of Naughty Dog's other games, there's a lack of polish in terms of like visual performance, and it's the... I cannot describe the input lag. It is... I would describe it as like single-digit inputs per second that it registers. Mind you, I'm assuming that Genesis players in the early 90s had a lot more patience than I did.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this song is a remix of one of the tracks they used for Rings of Power. I don't know for sure. Probably pulling that out of my ass. I don't know. This is another example where I got the time trial off screen. There are, like, for 100% speedruns, this is one of the last things you do in a 100% speedrun is to simultaneously get the clear gem and at least a gold relic in Rings of Power. I don't get it.
This actually almost looks like a fun biplane level.
Well, the thing is that if you time it right, you do a barrel roll through one of the rings and you get a speed boost. And it causes your turn radius to be even worse than it normally is. So try, and you really have to do that in order to get the at least a gold relic. And try to do that while also doing the clear gem is just, it's nightmarish. I would not recommend it. Yeah, that 103 time, that was the gold relic. Yeah, that was the gold relic I got off screen. Well, before we started recording this, I had hyped this up as a slog of an episode to record, but that actually went by surprisingly quickly.
It did. We got to see some of the high points and some of the low points of Crash. We got to question Naughty Dog in their beta to production practices. We got to take a subtle stab at The Last of Us Part 1 remaster, remake, reprovision.
Which, by the time this video goes up, no one's going to care about that anymore.
Nobody's going to give a shit except for the fact that they're all lining up to buy it for $70 for like the third time in their life.
I mean, it's a great game, but it's the kind of game you buy once, you know?
Yeah.
I bought it for PS3. I don't own a PlayStation 3 personally, but my dad did. He used it for Blu-ray. And yeah, I played it. I enjoyed it. If I go back, I could just go over to his place and use his PS3. I don't know what else to say. Although I guess it depends on the quality. Maybe I might get it for PC. Anyway, Naughty Dog. We
love you.
Yeah. Naughty Dog, great developers. Please treat your artists the same way that you treat your games, with love and passion, and hopefully things will go better for you.